Hello world, and welcome to my Half-Life 2 Episode 2 bug hunting walkthrough, or Bugthrough, as I like to call it, because it's catchy, and hopefully it'll start a craze on the internet. I hear that's the thing these days. My name is Mark Valentine, I'll be your QA tester for the day. If the passengers in the train will look to their right, we'll see some floating rocks for the first time today, and certainly not the last. We're going to work our way through this Uncharted 2 homage, or blatant ugly ripoff. The crumbling train, perceived danger, opening set piece of the game is getting redundant. I assume you guys are going for pastiche, in which case, well done. So these are flat rocks, perfectly flat on the bottom. I'm going to assume that's erosion or science magic. And I'm going to come over here and wait for our esteemed colleague and somewhat enamored assistant, Alex Vance, to come save us, because we're a physicist, and we're not going to open doors or climb through windows. Not what we do. So you'll notice her next subtitle says alright, while her vocals are okay. And that's the first of 26 subtitle errors in this level. And those include things like capitalization, either misplaced or not used, incorrect spacing, lines that don't really convey the emotion that the spoken line does, extra words, wrong words, things like that. So we're going to try and get hit by this door just for fun. Here goes. And wait for Alex to let us out here. So first thing we're going to do, once we get our gravity gun, is build a little staircase of rocks over here in that corner. And we're going to try to get out of bounds. And by try, I mean succeed immediately, because that's what we do. So as far as the subtitles go, getting back to that point while we're working and killing time here, if you guys ever need somebody, since Steam exists and you can patch files on the PC whenever you want, once a game ships and you want somebody to go back over the subtitles and make sure they perfectly match the audio, I'd be more than happy to volunteer my services. I have time and I love words and I like to help, so just keep that in mind if you want. So, beautiful. You can see that worked, and we're inching our way up out of bounds here. Like a butterfly emerging from a chrysalis, we burst forth into this brave new world, and I'm just holding forward and waiting. And a little nudge to the right gets us out. So you can make your way over there and over if you like. The bridge ends there, so it's just as well that we crashed where we did. If you go around the other side, you can make your way into the next area, but nothing happens unless you trigger the title slide, and Alex comes through the train door anyway, and the portal storm kicks off eventually, and it's pretty much like normal, except you didn't go through the train car. So it's not worth doing, so we're not going to do it. But this is the edge of the world. There's death, and that's where we see the portal storm vista from. So we're going to head back around and get on the beaten path. And I would like to show you, right there you can see some Z fighting on the train door model. Alex is desperately trying to figure out where we went. You wouldn't let me land on you. That's why you're going to die. So we're going to hop up here, and you can see that there's a blocking volume here to keep us from falling down the pit, which is great, and blocking volume to keep us from getting up on the rocks. But you can jump on this blocking volume and still fall down there, in which case you're trapped forever and you need to reload. So last time there was some amazing physics happenstance here, and I'm going to see if I can recreate it for you. The physics on the door got angry, and it shot up into the air several times, and it was really pretty fantastic. So, just for fun, more than anything. I'll give up here in a second if it doesn't work, but of course that was a fail. Anyway, one last time. Someday. Anyway, so over here you can see this black sheep rock, not connected to its brother, and certainly not connected to the floor, so again, floating, because that's what we do around here. Some people bake pies or jiggle geese, some things float in the air. We use example door here, and you can see that there's no physics collision on these metal beams, which I assume is so that you don't have to jump when you get there every time. But just wanted to point that out. And I assume that's also why you're free to just shoot through the train car. But there's a panel there on the model, panel there, and no panel over here, so missing normals on the back, and same for that guy. And plenty of Z fighting to be found here on the hinges, and over here Z fighting, and you can see a better shot here of the model. So we're going to come down here. If you come up around the top, there's player clip over there, so you can't sneak around. Is that the Citadel?
Oh my god. The Citadel.
What happened?
What the hell is happening?
I don't know. Go look. Go look. So you can see over here, there's a seam in the train car. And we're going to trip this off real quick. Look trigger. There we go. And floating rocks as seen from the train. So there you go. And obviously these rocks are about to fall when the portal shockwave happens. So these will break and become physics objects, but these guys on the sides don't have those kinds of things. So they're just going to delete. Swamp. And we're going to keep going here. We need to let reality bending stand in our way. So these rivets just go from left to right instead of being aligned with the object they're on, like the bottom does. And the same happens over here on this side. And we're going to blitz our way over here, grab some shields for no other reason than that we can. And on top of this wooden beam, you'll see there's no draw, so you can see down through. And over here on the bottom, on the underside, you'll see there's 3 little wires sticking down that I don't know where they come from. These little no-lit guys. So there's that. I'm stuck on something. So we're going to blast this table, and we're going to try to get Alex to follow us. I'm just going to grab this for fun. All the way over to the comm shack, and get a conversation kicked off between her and Daddy and Dr. Kleiner, and I guess Magnuson. You know, because why not? So this way she can talk. That was a waste of a zombie. That way she can get talking, and we can do other things while we're waiting. So, because I always have to wait on her, I like to put chairs up there for no reason other than because I can. And gives her something to be confused about when she gets up there. It's good times.
Dr. Kleiner and my dad are up north
So, we're just going to wait for her to get this kicked off, and I can plug in my plug, and then we'll see where things go.
Damn. What now?
So our genius little acrobatic engineer is about to climb up for us. Just going to launch this gnome in the meantime, because why have a gnome if you can't launch it? Alright. Let's watch her figure out the chair puzzle. Confusion.
What a mess.
And
This could take a while.
alright.
Hey,
Despite the fact that she's phasing through that chair, and in fact has been impaled several times with chair legs. While doing this, she continues, ever faithful, fixing, or whatever that is. I'm just going to plug this in. Make sure she doesn't get stuck, because that did happen once when I had a chair up there.
But it worked.
So we're just going to keep an eye on her.
To check in.
I think she's okay. No. So, here's a good thing to note. She can occasionally get stuck up there. The last time the chair was more centered, she might work her way around. I'm just going to move this to have mercy on her. But you can get her stuck up there if you want, but it takes work. It's surprisingly difficult, which I guess is a props to you guys. So, we're going to come back over here. And you can see over here, under these bundles of I-beams or girders or whatever you want to call them, there's a BSP seam for the floor. So between this chunk and this chunk, and the trash textures, whether that's overlay or decal, I'm not quite sure, but not aligned. And the first, what's that head crab? First of what I call lighting artifacts, whether that's an appropriate name or not, it's the best I got. So you can see that this wood is blue, directly opposite a bright yellow light, and perpendicular to blue, and not at all facing other blue. So how that's blue, I don't know, but that happens from time to time. And down here you'll see misaligned blood splatters, also common. One of my favorites is this I-beam, just cutting straight through this vent or duct, as well as that beam, and that beam, that beam, that beam, and so on, all the way down. And I've come to realize in my many playthroughs that I don't know what that vent or duct is good for, because it doesn't branch, there's no pipe up to the top or to the sides, so there's a pipe enclosed with grills on both sides that just has air, I guess, sitting in it, much like the air in this mine shaft, and so it's just there for literally no reason. So, government funding. And you can see here the fence goes up into the rock, goes up through the overhang, and these guys aren't down far enough so you can see up through them. The door does not have any geometry where the glass is, so you can just see through it. Another lighting artifact there. And see, we're still in time for this. So the wires are going to fly up through the roof when the Combine Chopper flies overhead. And Gladys, or the announcer from Team Fortress 2, I can't tell which, tells us that we're still being hunted by the Combine because it's a video game, and in case you've forgotten that being hunted by your enemies is kind of part of the video game. That's how it goes. So, I realize I probably missed the wires going up through the ceiling. I apologize. I should have known better.
Come on.
So we're going to come out here, and lighting coming in from under the foundation of the building, from that light over there. And you can see that these guys float, because again, they're rocks, and this is how rocks behave. So we're going to keep pressing on, smack that guy down. And you can see here, I see him in the displacements, out to the skybox. And static prop here, which is blue, unlike what I'm assuming is BSP here, which is not blue. Make our way down here. That hurt. And it's just as well that it crashed, because you can see these guys are missing normals and aren't aligned with the track that it was going down to, so that's probably why that happened. Nor do they connect, but whatever. So Alex is talking, filling us in on backstory. And Hunter's gonna spawn. And Alex is never going to tell us what she was about to say. You're not sure what?
Did you hear that?
Yeah, but never mind. So from over here, you can see that this vent doesn't go down far enough. You can see up through it. And there is a seam over there between the displacements. And then down here, you can see that this track clearly does not go down anywhere near the floor. It's just kind of floating there. So, again, just as well that that minecart never made it over, because that's probably not up to OSHA standards. And floating rocks. And some more floating rocks. And what else do we have? I think that may be it for over here. I'm going to point out, for future reference, that there is a seam between this displacement for the terrain and this wall, which originally I built a tower of boxes, got up there, and you can see it from there, but there's an easier way to do that, so I'll show you that later. And we're going to come over here. And as you noticed, as I fell through it, there is no normal on the end of that I-beam. It's so hard to get back up there from this side. Especially if you get stuck on the ladder. Okay, one more. Alright, so we're just going to look at it from this side because, clearly. Alright, so missing normals, and then this happens for the ends of, obviously, every I-beam because they're all the same. There we go. So, these are used for decoration plenty of times, so this will crop up occasionally. And again, fence going up into the ceiling. So, YouTube requires us to cut the video in half, and since this is as good a spot as any, we'll cut part 1 here.